fuck am I doing? If that video makes it in, I am truly, truly sorry you had to witness that. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you could make it. Today we are doing spooky reads for spooky season. Now, you may say, Josh, you did an autumn reads like 3 weeks ago. Is that not the same? You're not going to give the same recommendations? Maybe. Am I running out of content ideas? Maybe. But it's spooky season and that's all that matters. So let's give some spooky recs. Okay, first off, we are going to start off with straight horror because I know that's what the vibe most of you are going to look for through spooky season. So, straight horror. The first recommendation I have is one I read recently. I mentioned it in a few videos. It is Seed by Naya Alburn. This book absolutely terrified me, like to my core. That ending is absolutely sadistic and just left me feeling absolutely dirty and grim inside. If you want a horror that is going to shake you to your core, that's it. That is the one. What I also loved about Seed was that it was really funny and really comedic. It follows a girl who gets haunted by a supernatural demon, and the demon makes her say and do some really funny stuff to the point I was laughing out loud most of the time. Like, some of the stuff they say is so outrageous. It was just really, really funny. Cracking up thinking right now. It was just really good. I really enjoyed those humour bits mixed with the absolutely terrifying notion that, you know, this demon is controlling this little girl and making her do this weird stuff. Like, it's a dark humour moment. Not to mention the absolute unravelling of this family as they go through what they're going through and the psychological elements that go through with that. And Naya Alburn creates this really, really unsettling tone in her writing that makes a really, really good spooky read, and I think you'd all love it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Josh, you're recommending horror books. Where is Stephen King? Now, I have a confession to make. I don't actually like Stephen King's books that much at all, in all honesty. I've read quite a few of his books, including It, The Shining, Green Mile, and a lot of them I just didn't really like, in all honesty. I just think Stephen King struggles to stick the landing on most of his books. And I know you can say that's difficult for horror books anyway, which I agree. Sometimes it is difficult to stick a landing for horror. All this tension build up sometimes just doesn't pay off the way you want it to at the end. But I think Stephen King is really bad for this. Most Stephen King books I've read, the ending has just fell flat for me. And I've been like, it was doing so well. But there is an exception to this, which is why I am recommending Misery. I absolutely loved Misery and I thought it was so chilling. I just loved all the claustrophobia and the psychological elements to Misery. And I love a horror where it's human on human, where these things could actually happen. And that just scares and terrifies me more than anything supernatural or anything like that would. It just really gets to me. And I just think that Misery book is just so claustrophobic and so freaky. And it just, oh God, it just made me feel awful inside. Ugh. What a book. I really enjoyed that. I know I've just been saying Stephen King's not for me, but I really, really like Misery. I just think it's a masterpiece in just close room, terrifying. Oh my God. Get out while you can. Get out. One thing I will say, and I guarantee there's already comments coming. Josh, what about Pet Sematary? Do you like Cemetery? I've never read it. I'm reading it right now. I know, I'm sorry, I probably should have read this before I filmed this video, but I am reading Pet Sematary right now, and to be honest with you, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. I just hope the ending is good. I hope the ending's good. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. This is my spooky horror read at the moment. I'm doing a series on TikTok where I read your guys' horror recommendations. If you want to go do it, go onto TikTok and see it. I'm reading this at the moment. Next up, We Used to Live Here, one of the most popular horror mystery books out there right now. And to be honest with you, I can see why. I read this a few months ago, but April time, not the time to be reading We Used to Live Here. I'll give you that. It was a reread though, so that counts. I read it whilst I was in Italy, I think. But I love this book, and I wanted to reread it because I wanted to see what I missed the first time. And I just love the premise of this book. I don't want to spoil it because the actual twist is probably the scariest bit of the book and what's actually happening. But I'll give you the initial premise. This couple has been living in this house and they're all happy. And then next minute, this family shows up at the door saying, oh, I used to live here. Do you mind if I show my kids around the house and just show them where I grew up? And the couple's like, bit weird, but fine. Yeah, sure. And then guess what? They don't want to leave. They don't want to leave. And why don't they want to leave? You'll see soon when you read it, because it's really good, really creepy. I thought the characters were like really, really relatable. Like the way they were reacting to what is going on was like so real and so raw that I was like, this is brilliant. Like one half of the couple is like really straight up, like, what are you doing? Why aren't you leaving this house? What's going on? And then the other is like really anxious and not wanting to upset them or not wanting to be like have confrontation. So she's kind of just like, why aren't they going? Please leave. But like, not telling it directly to them. They're just kind of like making hints. And that's exactly what I'd do. If someone was in my house trying to break in, I'm like, can you go? Without trying to be mean, can you leave? Leave my books and just go. It was relatable, it was raw, and I loved it. I think it was really cool and really creepy and had a pretty cool ending. I'm going to do some honourable mentions for horror films because you all want to read, but I know you also love horror films and want to watch some films. So, honourable mentions for horror films: Hereditary, Talk to Me, The Strangers, The Witch, and The Babadook. We're now going to move away from horror and go towards more fantasy gothic read for spooky season, because I know we don't want just full horror gore sometimes. We want some good fantasy in there too. As usual, you guys come to me for fantasy. I'm going to give you fantasy. Let's do some spooky fantasy recs. We're going to start off with Belladonna. Now, I'm not sure you could call this fantasy. I'm not sure what genre I would put this in. It's like a Victorian-esque thriller mystery, murder mystery with fantasy elements in it. The main premise to this is the main character can see and talk to death, and she's sent to this manor house to live there and find out there is a killer on the loose, and she has to work with death to find out who the killer is. Now, of course, this has some romance to it, and is she going to get cracked down by death? Wait and see and read it. If that sounds a bit up your street, which I'm sure for some of you it is. If you want to see someone, maybe not, see death, get with death, love triangle, maybe. Who knows? I'm not going to spoil it. Read Belladonna, see if you like it. It's an interesting book. It's an interesting book. The Raven Boys. Again, I wouldn't call this like proper fantasy. It's set in modern day, but it has some really cool magic and really cool creepy elements to it. It also gives amazing found family as they try to figure out the mysteries of this town. If you like Stranger Things, if you like Six of Crows, it's got a bit of that element going on, and it has a really cool twist, but I'm not going to give you what it is because when I read it I didn't see it coming whatsoever. Like, I honestly was like, wow, I did not see it, and it was really, really fun and I really enjoyed it. And it's not like a major plot point, but it's good enough to go, whoa, I liked that. I like that. It's very spooky. It's very fun. Should read The Raven Boys. I really love it. If you like found family, you're going to love The Raven Boys. Phantasma. Now, this isn't scary, but it is dark. It is a dark romantic. That's what it's marketed as. And I can see why. This book is about trials, and they go through like the Hell's trials, and she has the help of a demon to help her through these trials. And the trials are very dark and very gory and just very bleak, but it's so much fun. Each trial is really unique and just a really, really good time. And I just really enjoyed the different aspects of it. And it is a romantic. It does get quite steamy. It does get quite smutty. I bet you can guess with who. Yeah, it's fun. It's a very fun, dark romantic, and I think you'll have a good time. If you like trials, if you like rituals, if you like dark sport or anything like that, I think you'll have a good time with it. I really enjoyed it. I read this at like Christmas last year, and I thought it was a really fun time. I devoured it. I just couldn't get enough of those little trials. I just thought they were so cool, and each way of winning the trial was just really good. So yeah, Phantasma, give it a read. I think you'll like it. I've not read Enchanter yet though. Has anyone read Enchanter? If you have, let me know in the comments down below. Is it any good? Is it as good as the first? Now, the next book is not spooky in the traditional sense, but I've included it in this list because the themes this book talks about and the plot of the book is terrifying in itself in the message it gives. And that book is Blood over Brighthaven. This book has a lot of talk on real world issues whilst also having an amazing fantasy plot with a really intricate and cool magic system. And it's going to devastate you and destroy you internally, whilst also making you think a lot about things going on in the world and misogynistic portrayals and also racist portrayals. And the things it has to say are terrifying, but also it's a masterpiece of a book, and I think you should all read it. It's not spooky in the traditional sense, like I said, but I just wanted to include it in the list because I think it's a great spooky autumn read, and I just think it's a masterpiece of a book. Then we're going to go on to the recent released Alchemized. Now, I'm only 200 pages into Alchemized, but I did read Manacled in the past, and I'm really enjoying Alchemized so far. I think it's really, really good and just such a fun, spooky season read. It's not scary, but it's dark. It is very dark in the elements of torture and the things the main character has to go through, and the actual necromancy and bringing people back from the dead and using their corpses as slaves and using their corpses to inhabit bodies and make them live longer. In that, it's very dark and very gruesome and very spooky in that way. It's not going to be jump scary and have you like filled with tension and chilling, but it's dark. It's really dark, and the things that happen in the world that are just accepted as normal are just really, really creepy, and I think that makes for a great spooky season book. However, it's probably going to take you the whole of October to read it. I'm loving this book. I loved Manacled, so I've been like eating this up, and I'm only on 200 pages. It's a long book, but it's really good, and it's the most beautiful book ever. Just look at it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. A spooky season list wouldn't be complete without the most gothic romantasy, the One Dark Window duology, or the Shepherd King duology. I love these books. I say time and time again how much I love these books. I've recommended them over and over again, so I'm not going to go into it in too much detail. But the nightmare in this book is very spooky, but also very sassy and very fun. And the magic system goes off cards, which is very cool. It's very gothic, it's very misty, and it's also a really good time. That's all I'm going to say. You've seen it enough. You've seen me recommend it enough. One Dark Window is a really good spooky read. Again, this book isn't horror or fantasy, but I could definitely give it a nod to horror for just how bleak and depressing this book is. And that book is I Who Have Never Known Men. Like I said, this is a very distressing and bleak story. It's very short, but has a lot to say, and it's just going to have you feeling really uneasy and just really empty inside after reading it. It's a very bleak read. It's very well written. It's honestly one of my favourite books I've read, and it's just going to leave you feeling very, very sad and very bleak. Again, I don't want to give it away because I think this book is best if you go in blind and not knowing what to expect. But just read it. It's not a nice read by any means. You're not going to have fun reading it, but I think it's required reading for everyone. I Who Have Never Known Men. Put it on your spooky list. Put it on your spooky list. Anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. Let me know if you pick up any of these books or read them during spooky season. I hope you all enjoy them, and I hope you'll enjoy a spooky season filled with the best books and the best horror films, and just have a great time. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.